Aloha mai kako. This is Sam Peralta, and this is Ku'io Maui. In this episode 1, we're going to be talking about the evolution and the Kumulipo. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and follow us on YouTube and our Instagram accounts, which will be described down below. The Kumulipo is Hawaiian's creation story. Symbolic imagery and biological evolution are woven beautifully in this Hawaiian chant. The Kumulipo is 2,102 lines long and takes around 3 hours to chant. Out of the 2,000 lines, more than 1,000 are straight genealogies listing in pairs, male and female. The Kumulipo is divided into 16 different eras, 8 eras in the realm of Po, or darkness, and the 8 in the realm of Ao, or light. The creation chant tells of the origins of life from the very beginning. Kumu means source. Lipo means the depths of obscurity, like as in deep water from the bottomless ocean. The Kumulipo is Hawaii's creation story from the depths of the unconscious to the dawn of enlightenment. In the Kumulipo, psychology, sociology, philosophy, science, and religion are not divided into separate disciplines like we do in the West. The Kumulipo is more like an iconic piece of classical music or like a masterpiece of art rather than a systemic academic discipline. The Kumulipo is read within the context of a voyaging people who navigated the stars. These voyaging people danced with the beat of the stars, rhythms of the sea, and moved with the tide of the times. The ancient Hawaiians were astronomers who related to the heavens, terrestrial science, and the gods as how one would relate to an intimate lover or a beloved elder. Ancestral knowledge means ancestral relationships. In the first era of the Kumulipo, time, space, and matter are within the first lines of the chant. Similarly to Einstein's theory of general relativity, it's found here. Progression throughout the Kumulipo unfolds the unconscious god of realm of Po to the conscious human realm of Ao, or the 16th epoch or ages. 8 of them are in the realm of Po, and the other half remain in the realm of Ao. Both the god realm of Po and the realm god of Ao are connected with land-based images and the evolution of species. The ecosystem in Hawaii is filled with personified natural elements. These personified natural elements are integrated throughout the land and are deeply connected through a tapestry of relationships. Each natural element is a symbolic representation of ancestral knowledge. More mysteriously, the ancestors themselves are the natural elements. These relationships of ideas, rituals, traditions are all the ways and means of maximizing production and caring for our natural resources. Since the natural resources and elements are known to be the ancestors themselves, there's a deep sacredness and respect for Aina, or that which sustains. Your ancestors sustain you. Ancestral knowledge is passed down from generation to generation. Since the Hawaiian language is filled with kauna, or hidden meanings, there's multiple layers of meaning in the stories, traditions, practices that are unseen or not noticed to the commoner. That is why the passing on of information from generation to generation is a Hawaiian way. In Hawaiian worldview, the ancestors are the elements. They are the trees, the animals, the fish. They're deeply connected like a tapestry, a honua, which is the word for world in Olelo, Hawaii. Our ecosystem is the ahupua'a, where chaos and order meet, where the commoners, chiefs, high priests, gods, and goddesses all share sacred space. They're all connected by Aina. Darwin evolution theories show that the variation and change given in geographical location over time, evolution starts small on a much shorter scales. Cells pass on information to the descendant cells. This process is called inheritance with memory and is encoded function of DNA. Evolution forces and interaction affects levels of variation. Given a population's genetic expression throughout adaptation presents specific expressions of life interdependent on the whole. From the coral polyp to human consciousness, from Akua to Ali'i, the chant remembers all of Hawaii's variations and arrangements specific to this place. The vibration that creates the world, such as various quantum theories suggest, is literally found here in this chant. The ecosystem is filled with personified natural elements. These personified natural elements are integrated throughout the land and are deeply connected through a tapestry of relationships. Each natural element is a symbolic representation of ancestral knowledge. More mysteriously, the ancestors themselves are the natural elements. These relationship of ideas, rituals, traditions are the ways and means of maximizing production and caring for our natural resources. Since the natural resources and elements are known to be the ancestors themselves, there is a deep sacredness and respect for Aina, or that which sustains. The development of an individual in Hawaii worldview is directly related to the mythology and multi-encompassing Kumulipo. This creation mytho-history is filled with symbolic representation and biological evolutionary adaptations. As more complex species emerge, more complex stories and ideas are inserted into this epic. The Kumulipo does not show the branches of species of life, but gives us the gods and goddesses, plants, and kanaka, a story to make sense of being, a mythology. The first function of mythology is to bring internal and external awareness to being. It is said that art holds a mirror to nature. That is the first function of mythology, is to bring consciousness of your surroundings. The second function of mythology is to present a total image of the universe, man's understanding of the whole, of what we know in terms of mystery. The third function of mythology tradition is to validate and maintain a certain moral order. These varies from one society to another. From the mountain to the sea, there are differences of what is required of a young man and a young woman. And finally, the fourth function of mythology is to integrate the individual in relation to himself and the microcosm, from his relationship to her society, and then to the universe, the great mystery. Take, for example, the story of La'i. She appears at the age of Ao, after the age of Po. After 8 epochs of biological evolution of species, from sea species all the way to land species, there is something new that is happening. This is the age of Ao. Previously, only the gods could enter into this dynamic mode of being. O ke akua ke komo, a oe komo kanaka. But as soon as La'i arrives on the scene, there is awareness, there is agency, there is power and freedom. La'i became mother of gods and men by her relations with the god of Kane and the man Ki'i. The first 4 sections of Ao tells the story of La'i. Her relations with Kane, the god, and Ki'i, the man. Kane is used for the word man in his procreative form, equivalent to our word male. Ki'i, which means image. Just as the Hebrew scriptures, man was created in the image of God. La'i shows humanity's place in the cosmos. That he's not the center, but he's interwoven with a sea of relationships. That there's a blurred distinction from divinity and humanity, from the natural and what is so-called the sacred. The hidden mysteries are found in La'i's ability to bridge the heavens and the earth out of her womb. Out of the relationships, the multitudes are born. Her relationships create increasing amounts of emotional, mystical drama, ethics, practical conclusions within the Hawaiian worldview. Unlike Western morals and ethics, most Hawaiian mythologies leave it up to the reader for a more mythical ending. As we continue studying and reading Hawaii's literature and oral traditions, we must train ourselves to see and think Hawaiian. The Kumulipo is an example of interconnectivity and relationships of adaptation and variation within a society. When one reads the Kumulipo and Hawaiian mythology, we can literally read into the past, present, and future. The difficulty is to leave out our Western perception of interpretations and enter back into the Hawaiian way of thinking. Thank you for watching this episode of Ku'io Maui. If you stay tuned for more episodes, episode 2 will be going over the different mythologies and gods and goddesses of Hawaii.